So to change the name of the app underneath the icon when you run it, we're going to go into the target, which is right here up in the upper left corner. And then we're going to go to build settings and then scroll down. This is in alphabetical order by these headings you see here. We're going to packaging and then look for product name. Let's change that to fact book. Now sometimes you do this in a different place actually. So I'm going to show you that right now. If you go to info at the top, you'll see here bundle display name shows $ product name, and that's what we just changed, the product name. And this code right here is basically saying to pull that name from the product name. So you could just type over this and that will also change the name of the app for you. Now we're going to change the local notifications. Local notifications are kind of like push notifications that you see, except they're coming in from the app itself and just like sending it out at certain intervals. So if you have an app, it might say, hey, we miss you, come back, or something along those lines. That could be a local notification. And this app does have local notifications. If you go into the resources folder, just click that arrow and go to jokes local notification.txt. There's a ton of these that he has already set up for the jokes app. Now these don't really make sense for facts, so what you want to do is change these, and you don't need as many as he has, but a good amount would be good so they don't keep seeing the same notifications over and over. So if the first one says want to hear a stupid joke, maybe you just type over this, want to hear a great fact. And if you decide to have somebody else replace the whole text file for you, there could be some issues, like if they create it in Windows and you save over the file, you might run into some problems. It might actually not work properly. So the easiest, safest way to do it is just edit it right inside of Xcode right here, and you're not going to run into issues that way. So once you're done with that, we also need to change the jokes themselves into facts. The jokes themselves are also in the resources folder. It's under insults. So if you click on that triangle, there are the 4 groups that correspond to the 4 groups in the app itself. So what you want to do is to go into each one of these and change out the information so that the content works for your app. Now some of these text files are formatted in different ways. So like in this jokes one, they're separated by dashes. So what you would do is just take out the first one, put in a great fact here of some sort, and that should work. Replacing a text file, like I said earlier, can get a little tricky, but this is the safest way to do it. You don't need to have as many as he has. You could have less or more. Just follow this convention and edit it right in here if you don't want to run into issues. Now looking at this naming convention, it says jokes, knock knock, one-liners. These don't really make sense, but don't change them because the code uses these file names, and if you change the file names, it's not going to work anymore. Now might be a good time to test the app, but before you do that, it's a good idea to go to Product, Clean. And if you're running this in the simulator, then you probably want to clear out your simulator's history, otherwise it might keep using the old information. I've had that happen before. So I'll show you how to do that. So let's go ahead and run this. So I'm seeing facts here, which is good, but if you're seeing jokes still, one thing to try if you're in the simulator is to go to the top where it says iOS Simulator and click on Reset Content and Settings, and then click Reset. Then you can click Stop from here and then run it again, and everything should be fine. If you're trying this on your device, then make sure you uninstall the app every time you run a new one. So that's the theme, but we still have a lot to change for content, so we're going to start doing that now. Let's start by fixing up the Facebook sharing settings. So the easiest way to find this is to use the search tool, which is this magnifying glass in the upper left corner. So click on that and type in 1024.ping. That's going to be a shortcut to get to where we want to go. So the results should be a facebookmanager.m file and this URL here. If you go ahead and click on it, then go into the main pane window here, and we're going to start editing this red text. In general, when you edit things in Xcode, if you're reskinning an app, you're pretty much just going to be changing red text. So that's the stuff to look for. Now the first thing I see is a link to his Facebook page, which is facebook.com/brightnewt. So hopefully you have a Facebook page set up. If you don't, you're going to need one because this app uses a Facebook page. So go ahead and type your Facebook page here. Next is that URL that we were looking for in the first place, which is that 1024.ping file. So what this is an image that goes along with the Facebook share that shows a picture of your icon. What you're going to need to do is have a link to your icon somewhere online. So you need some sort of hosting service that will store that file for you. I hosted mine on our WordPress blog, so I'm going to go ahead and put that link here. The image I used is, I believe it's 144 by 144. Yeah, so it's not that big of an image. Doesn't need to be when it's shared through Facebook. Next is a call out, what the person's pretty much saying when they're sharing it. This says, check out the stupid jokes and puns in this app. So let's change that too to make it more relevant. I'm going to have it say, check out these great facts. And then for the caption right below, put the name of your app there. Now looking below, I just realized this says Facebook wall post description, but description spelled wrong, and I think that's not gonna be good for the app. I think you want to fix this. And that just kind of points out that while you're working through this, just kind of take a look at these red text items and make sure everything looks right. Alright, let's move on and search for some more text. So in the search box, we're going to type in open parentheses, void, close parentheses, follow Facebook. And that's going to take you to the infoviewcontroller.m file. And let's go ahead and click on one of these. You'll notice there's no red text around here. It doesn't look like we're going to change anything around here. So click on the next one. There we go. I see a Facebook page link. So we're going to change this. Now, underneath you could see that there's some green writing. There's 2 slashes and some green writing, and that means it's a comment. This isn't real code. This comment says Facebook app tied fan page. So you're going to need to have a fan page set up for this app, or maybe for your company or yourself, I guess. And you're going to drop that link here. So I went ahead and added my Facebook fan page to an app really that's called I Triple Dare You. And it's not really related to facts or anything, but honestly I don't want to create a new fan page for this app since I plan to reskin this tons of times and I don't want that many fan pages. So once you're done with that, we need to get a Facebook app ID. Let's go ahead and jump into Safari. Alright, so first you're going to have to be a Facebook developer. So once you do that, you can get an app ID. Your account should look something like this, and you'll have a developer section right here. If you go down, you can click on Create App. In the top right corner, there's a Create New App button. Click on that, and then enter the name of the app. Now, something funny about Facebook is that anything with book in it isn't allowed. You can see it says failed here. So this really doesn't matter for our purposes, so I'm just going to write something else here. Go ahead and leave the namespace blank, and then put in a category. Let's disable the sandbox mode, which is testing mode. And then I do not know if this is completely necessary, but I like to do it. If you go into native iOS apps, we're going to enter the bundle ID. Along with the App Store ID, which you can get in iTunes Connect. It's the Apple ID. I'm also going to click on Enabled for Facebook Login. I'm not totally sure if this is necessary, but I like to do it. And click Save Changes. I get this message every time where it says it couldn't retrieve my App Store ID, but if I save again, it's always fine. I'm going to save it again. Now under the name, you'll see App ID, and we're going to copy this. Going back to Xcode, we're going to go to the appdelegate.h file. So go back to this folder button, and under fast laugh folder, the first one should be appdelegate.h. And you can see Facebook app ID is right here in red. So we're going to take those numbers and replace them with our own. We're also going to click on the top. Make sure your target is selected. And under the info tab here at the top, we're going to put the Facebook app ID down here where it shows Facebook app ID, and there's the number. So click on it and replace it. Alright, and one more spot. If you go down to the bottom of this page, there's URL types, and if you click on that arrow, it's going to open up a little section. There's URL schemes here, and there's FB with a bunch of numbers. We're going to take out those numbers, and replace them with your app ID. So that's it for Facebook, and if you got through this whole process and it works, then congratulations, because this is definitely the hardest part of the whole reskin process for this app at least. So now would be a good time to go up to Product, Clean, and then go ahead and test this on your device. I'm going to do that right now. Okay, so Facebook worked perfectly for me. Hopefully it did for you also. And there were just two things I noticed that I would like to mention now. One of them is not related to Facebook, but I want to get that taken care of. But the other is, and that was when I said the Facebook app name wasn't that important. That actually shows up in one spot when you're allowing access. So it'll say the name of your app wants access to Facebook. So just a note is put something there that isn't crazy, or just make it relevant to your app and you'll be fine. And next thing has to do with iOS 7. The bar at the top is kind of messing up the graphics. This code was not actually made for iOS 7 originally, and it hasn't been updated. So I want to do a quick fix so that it looks better on iOS 7. That fix is on the same page, so we're going to be in the project. Actually, if you click on targets and on the info tab, we're going to add 2 lines here. So right click and click on add row and type in status bar is initially hidden, and we're going to set that to yes. We're going to add one more, and the name of this one is view controller based status bar appearance. And we're going to set that to no. Now these 2 steps that we just did are really only for iOS 7 and for the newer Xcode. And this is as of October of 2013. So if you have an older version of Xcode, you probably won't need this and you'll be able to publish it fine without any problems. But that status bar at the top kind of looks funky with the combination of iOS 7 and the newest Xcode. Alright, so we're ready to move on. Let's tackle Twitter this time. So we're going to search again. This time we're going to search for void follow Twitter. If you click on the first one, same thing as last time. This isn't the place we're going to be editing stuff, so click on the next one. And here's some red text that we're going to have to change. This first one you can see it says app follow Twitter, so basically it's just where you want people to follow you on Twitter. So put your link in there. Now we're going to search for void add tweet content. And in the same file, it's going to be under infoviewcontroller.m. Click on the second one. And there's all this red text down here that we can change. So right now it says the Jokes app, you can check it out. Go ahead and change it to whatever information you want. Also, you'll notice that there's a glob.ly link here, which is linking to iTunes Connect. So what you're going to want to do is change this link also. I usually use bit.ly for this, so I'll show you how to do that in a second. First, let's change the text. Okay, so to fix that link, let's jump into iTunes Connect. And in your app, you'll see View in App Store. If you right-click that, and then copy the link, you can register for an account with bit.ly and then paste that link up here in the corner. What that does is it gives you an address that's a lot shorter, so copy that, go back into Xcode, and then put that link here. That should be it for Twitter, so go ahead and clean it again and then test it. Next, we're going to fix up the section so that the user is able to review and rate your app in the App Store. So there's a couple places we need to do this. The first happens to be right underneath this add tweet content section that we just worked on. So it's the void review on App Store. You can search for this if you're not on the same page already. Now down here in the red content, there's an app ID. Right after this equal sign, we're going to need to replace that. So go ahead and delete it and get your app ID from iTunes Connect. It's on this page right here. Next we need to find the appdelegate.h file. So click on your folder at the top left corner, then go into FastLaugh folder, and then the first file is appdelegate.h. Click on that and then find App Store rate ID, and those blue numbers, we're going to change that to the same ones we just copied. So paste that in. Go ahead and click on the search button, and we're going to type in rate.message. If you click on that, you can see that there's a message and it says, "Are you enjoying this app?" I just left it, but you can change that if you want. Right underneath that it says rate.application name. Let's go ahead and change the name here to your app. Let's clean that again. And that should be it for the rating section. Now these are usually hard to test because the app doesn't really exist yet, so you can't review it. So I usually get this done and hope for the best. Let's keep going, we're on a roll. So the next thing we're going to do is the share by email method. So let's search for the function void share email. You should see 4 results here. Let's click on the first one. Now you should see red text that would make sense to change. First one is the subject line, and it says funny joke from Best Stupid Jokes and Puns Free, so let's change that. And then the message says, "Thought you would get a kick out of this joke. Doesn't make sense for facts," so I'm going to change that also. And then right below that is some more text that we should change. So I just replaced my app name there, and then you'll notice there's that glb.ly link again. Let's use our bit.ly link that we created earlier. Now let's go to the next one in the search box. Nothing there to change. Let's go to the next one. And here we go again. Let's go ahead and replace these. So that first one is the subject, and this next one in red is the body of the email. Above that you see some green text that's been commented out, so it's not doing anything, so we don't need to change that. Again, there's that link that we want to replace with bit.ly. Last, let's check the last one up here. And there's some more text that we need to change. Let's do one more search, and I'm going to search for Bright Newt 2013, and this is a copyright that appears on the info page, so go ahead and change this also. Then go to Product Clean and test your app. Okay, we're almost done. Hang in there, or you might be having fun doing this, so in that case, yeah, we have a lot to go. Not really though. We're going to fix the contact support section now, so we're going to search for void contact support. Again, we're going to the second one, and change your email down here. And you also want to change the subject line to match the name of your app. Now you can change these parts down here. It says your app would be even better if ... and they fill it in. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it. And we also need to change the legal section. So search for void open legal. And click on the second one. And all that we need to change is this link here. Right now it's pointing to brightnewt.com and his terms of use. So you need to have a web page where your terms of use can be displayed. So go ahead and paste yours there. Okay, now we have one really quick fix. So if you go to the search and search for enjoy your insults, there's a message here that appears after you restore your purchases. It says enjoy your insults, and that should say something that fits your content. For me, it's going to be facts. So I'm going to put that in, and that fixes that part. So that should be it. That covers all the content, and if you made it this far and you're testing and everything looks good, then great job. It's all pretty easy from here on. So you did most of the work already, and all the hard parts are done. The only things left now are the in-app purchases. They probably still say joke names there, and the in-app purchases themselves don't work, and that's okay. And then the ads, you need to be able to get paid for those, so we only need to fix those two things, and this app's going to be ready to launch. So great job, and I'll see you in the next video.